Lion's mane has been crucified of late, with people claiming that it causes ED, SD, and no D. Except, is there any truth to the rumors where it causes irreversible damage to libido with no hope of it returning back to normal? Except, is this completely wrong? Yeah, it is, and I'll explain why. I always thought lion's mane lowered libido because it reduced 5-HT, the enzyme that converts T to DHT, from testosterone to dihydrotestosterone, which is the more anabolic form. And I kind of took this at fact because you read a lot of blogs about it, you see people speak about lion's mane, and people kind of parrot around the same information. Except this is actually not true. There's actually no study that shows that lion's mane reduces 5-HT. Like, let's do a little experiment. Like, look on Google Scholar, type in 5-HT and type in lion's mane, and you'll see no studies come up. And do this just to contrast and compare. Look at reishi mushroom, reishi 5-HT in Google Scholar, and you'll see some studies come up, right? So there's no studies, no evidence that shows that lion's mane reduces 5-HT. And this kind of baffled me because I always thought it did. And I always avoided lion's mane for this reason, because I thought it reduced my hormones and I didn't want that. The only source I could find for lion's mane reducing 5-HT is from this weird infographic from Paul Statman's book from 2005 that has no links or any references for the information collected. So it's not a really reputable source, to be honest. I got this idea from the owner of Nootropics Depot, who was replying to comments on a thread about their new lion's mane extract that they released. Some people were commenting this, that lion's mane permanently causes castration after one single dose, and doesn't even have to be standardized lion's mane. It's unstandardized lion's mane, in that a person's entire life was ruined after one capsule, one dose, never the same again. Sounds kind of bad, right? Except we can't even do that with medication. We can't even chemically castrate somebody with medication with one dose. And who's to say a benign, kind of more subtle mushroom is going to be able to do this? Mushrooms can do some remarkable things. No one will argue that. Except, can it do this? Nah, it can't. At the end of the day, lion's mane is more soft and subtle than strong and significant. It's more benign than it is powerful. And even further, I decided to experiment with this myself, in that I would include lion's mane in my stack for the next couple weeks, and I would see if I noticed a drop in libido, or if I noticed, malaise, fatigue, all those symptoms of low testosterone.
A few moments later.
And you know what I noticed? I noticed the opposite. I noticed my libido actually increased. And what is the reason for this? It's probably just because it was sunny outside. At the end of the day, it's tough to kind of isolate variables in the experiment. A lot of the times people are claiming that lion's mane ruined their life after one dose. There's probably so many other factors at play that they just don't realize, or that they just ignore, or they just don't connect the dots, because there's so many confounding variables of things that happen that could manipulate it, where it's not this, except you think it's that, even though it's not that, right? That does happen. It does occur. What I did notice though is that I was connecting ideas quicker. I was a little bit more calm, and it was easier for me to express myself verbally to others, the term deemed verbal fluidity. And before you say anything, I know lion's mane can cause side effects. That's not up for debate. It definitely can. There's definitely experiences of people taking lion's mane that turns out to be negative for whatever reason. Absolutely. Some people do notice a drop in libido when they are taking lion's mane, whether that's from the mushroom or from something else, who knows? Except emphasis on some. That's some, not all, right? Millions of people take lion's mane every day with no issue. It's just an isolated subset of people that take it and experience negative effects. Most people don't. And I wouldn't be concerned about lion's mane ruining your life after one dose. That sounds kind of ludicrous to me. And at the end of the day, I don't know why we throw common sense out the window. I'm no stranger to reacting paradoxically to supplements, to compounds, to nootropics. Except after one dose for something so weak and benign, that's like claiming creatine ruined your life after taking it once, right? That you just never have the energy again. Is it from creatine? No. Is it from something else? Yeah, probably. That just makes sense. And oftentimes there's confounding variables, in that a lot of things can happen in somebody's life when they're experimenting with a compound, and they can notice a negative effect that they contribute or attribute to the compound where it's not the case, and it's from something else, and they only realize that after the fact, Well, they only realize that when they're looking back and trying to connect the dots, where they never realize that there's so many things at play all the time. And that's not to say lion's mane can't cause negative effects. It's just to say that lion's mane doesn't usually cause negative effects. It's not Satan in a pill, right? It's more of a good thing than a bad thing. The short and sweet of it is that I'm going to take lion's mane every day for the foreseeable future because of its good cognitive benefits. It doesn't lower libido like the internet claims, because there's no verifiable studies that indicate lion's mane does lower libido. I wouldn't be concerned about it. I would encourage people to experiment with it themselves because it is a great compound and you can see how you respond to it and how you react to it. And I wouldn't be concerned about having your life ruined from lion's mane after a single dose. Ow.